Three. Awesome. Welcome to the show. My name is Gino. Welcome to Contractors Mastermind 2020 edition. We got Derrick Johnson on the phone, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, man. Welcome to the show. Just to get us started, man, introduce us to you. Tell us a little bit about your story, your business, how long you've been in business, and we'll kind of roll from there.
Okay, thanks, Gene, for inviting me on the podcast. I'm a Derrick Johnson. The name of my company is TDM Restoration Services. We're out of Waldorf, Maryland.
Okay.
I am actually my company's it's a small disabled veteran-owned small business. It's a minority business, and it's also small local business enterprise. So I have every certification you need in regard to business. Like I say, our main focus is we do recons. I mean, we run the whole gamut. But we've been really tied up lately with this COVID-19 cleaning. We just picked up a few contracts with Charles County government. So basically what we're doing right now is keeping me super busy because I'm running a 24-hour, 24/7 schedule. We're cleaning all the ambulances and police vehicles. Once they, we're set up at the local hospital, and once the ambulances come through, we decontaminate them, and the police vehicles as well, and also all of the county, all the buildings in the county, we're decontaminating. Of course, full PPE, using EPA approved products. We're fogging. We're 10 minutes dwell time, wiping down, and it's been going good. So I don't have any complaints. We're busy, and it's really raining today, so I know we'll get a lot of calls tonight.
Yeah,
that never stops. So we're in a good spot right now. I'll say that much to you.
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So forgive me. I don't know if it was my internet connection or if it was yours. We kind of cut in and out there. You said right now you're focusing on like COVID-19 cleanup. Is that all that TDM Restoration specializes in, or do you do other restoration work as well?
Yeah. No. So like I say, we're actually set up to do water. We do water mitigation, remediation, just asbestos and lead, and then we do, like I say, the pack backs, and we also do the reconstruction. So we start to finish.
Gotcha.
We'll do full cycle, right? But the COVID has us busy right now, super busy.
That's awesome. I know a lot of restoration companies have been talking. I know I was talking to one guy outside of I want to say it was Charlotte, North Carolina. He's like, man, I can't even buy any more products to do COVID-19 stuff because it's all on back order because everyone else, it's crazy.
Yeah. We bought about $10,000 worth of product within the last month because we anticipated that we were going to get inundated with these calls, and we were right.
Right. That's awesome. So how long have you been in business? Kind of going back to how long you've been in business, and from the kind of beginning point up till now, what were some of the toughest challenges that you kind of had to overcome, or stuff that you dealt with kind of growing your business up to this point?
Well, I've been TDM Restoration Services actually is a brand new business.
Nice.
I was working for a local restoration company, and I decided to, I decided to get the certificates, and because I was a project manager, and I seen how operations went, so I just decided to start my own restoration company. And actually, the company that I was working for, I'm subbing them out to do all my work, and that's the reason why we can still run the whole gamut. And everybody's making a profit, and we're, like I say, we're out on the front lines with the first responders, and we're just making it happen, and I could be happier.
That's awesome. I mean, it sounds like you're just leveraging, you're not, that's beautiful. I know, like, it's cool to see that's the case, the kind of operating from like a management. I heard a good example or analogy of like, you know, it's kind of like instead of like being like the team captain on like the sports field, like whatever sport it is, it's like being the coach on like watching your team, you know what I mean, and having like different contractors, different like moving the systems around. That's awesome.
That's
That's
right.
awesome.
That's right. Well, like I say, and I've been used to doing it. I have a background, military background. I'm 20
Yeah.
years. I did 20 years in the Air Force. I'm retired. I retired back in 2009.
Yeah.
So this has been, I've been, contracting for the last 10 years. And like I say, I just picked up the project management about 2 years ago, 2017, 2018-ish. And then I love it. I love this career field I'm in, and I'm just all in now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. So leading up to that, you've had a busy 2020 and COVID-19. Like, what have been the toughest parts about 2020, COVID-19? But also, like, what are you seeing, like, in terms of having to adapt to how things are changing? I know, like, you've been focusing on COVID-19, but even like the water damage restoration side of things, have you seen things change or shift? Have you had to approach things in a different fashion, or what does that look like for you guys?
Well, I guess, what I'm about to say, I'm sure most of the companies will be able to echo what I'm saying is most people don't want you in their house
Yeah.
because of this virus. And, and it's like we got to work around it. We make sure the guys are full PPE when they're walking to the house, and we just try to assure them because, like I said, we get the TPA work. So, I mean, if the pipe busts, we got to be in there. The toilet overflows, we got to be there. I mean, you like it or not. And then, I guess most people understand it, when we explain this is an insurance claim and we just, your insurance company sent us. So that's the reason why we're here. And
Right.
I mean, they'll come along and they'll be like, okay. And, but that's the biggest difficulty is letting people in their homes. And like I said, we lost a few jobs that were on TPA because people just, I'm not letting anybody in, and that was it. So I don't know why they called, but they called and then they changed their mind because I guess they about the COVID more. So
better safe than sorry in some regards.
yeah,
I mean, it makes sense, but it's like, yeah, it's been definitely interesting to hear how different companies are kind of approaching some of these different things.
right.
What is so let me ask you this. What if some like a customer were to compare you to like 3 other companies that are similar, what makes you different for the customer specifically? What would you say like differentiates you guys, or why they would go with you over someone else?
That's
Open-ended, man. It goes wherever you want to go.
that's an interesting question because I'm not a narcissist or anything, but
Yeah.
I was kind of like just before I got on the call with you, lady called and I have contractors on my recons and they didn't put. It's real rainy here up in Maryland today. And they're talking about. She called. Well, your guy's not putting the drop cloth down, and you're not. And they're going out to the truck and this complaint after complaint. And I just calm them down. I said, ma'am, I'll be there first thing in the morning. And it's just like once you place yourself in the customer's shoes, it really, brings, you de-escalate very quickly. And it's just basically talking to people and putting yourself in their shoes. And I guess that's what sets, I would imagine most organizations who stay in business have the same customers all right type policy, but what sets us apart is I guess I just get out there, I make sure it's done. I don't depend on anybody else. I'll show up myself and just, we got 52 recons on the board right now. and I'll go to all 52 houses and, you know, make sure everything's, you know, if necessary, I will. But
Right.
most of the time, my guys got things under control. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so what has been your number one way for your business for getting new jobs? You know, what's been your number one marketing source? Is it all based on referrals, or do you have utilize other what's that look like for you guys?
well, for the water mitigations, of course, it's TPA. You know, so we use contractor connections. That's how we get 90% of our jobs. And Nexus, we get claims that way. That's a lion's share. And of course, they'll turn into molds and asbestos. Once we get in there, we start snooping around and finding, you know, and of course it'll turn to a pack out and then a recon, and then, you know, so that's third party. But like I say, with the COVID, it's mostly I've been doing an aggressive marketing campaign on on social media.
Yeah.
I've been going business to business. I've been making out flyers. Putting them on the bus stops, like I say, and going to gas station, putting them, you know, on the top of the gas station. They, you know, when you're pumping gas and they have a little advertisement,
Yeah.
I'll put my flyers up there. I go all out with marketing. It's very time consuming, but you know, it's paid off so far. So that's what I'll say.
Yeah, I get it. You know, you mentioned like social media, like how much has the internet kind of like, I know for some industries, and I've asked this to a lot of restoration companies too, and they usually say similar, but I'm curious, you know, you never know if someone may answer something differently. Because I know like for roofers or like even like moving and relocation companies, like I've been talking to a couple different guys, obviously. But how has like the internet played in like I know some roofers are using like Google Maps and different things to like do virtual estimates, for example, or like moving and relocation guys are doing like virtual walkthroughs to kind of look at like, okay, what are we working with, kind of getting their scope, putting together like estimates. Has that been something that you see working in your business at all? Or it's kind of out there. I'm just curious, like even thinking forward, like could that be a possible way of mitigating some of the fear around people being in houses and even knowing like, hey, you might not even need us. We might be able to send you, or whatever the case may be, you know?
I mean, surely it's a good concept if, like I say, if you can use Google Maps, any medium to, you know, help communicate to the customer, to the client, or, you know, that's all been effective. But what's been most effective for me has been Facebook.
Yeah.
Because they have a very powerful tool, because we already have it, and I use LinkedIn as well.
Okay.
But primarily I use Facebook for the most part, because you can create your own campaigns, and like I said, I've been funding my campaigns. I've been putting a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
And they'll kind of like, they can help you make different campaigns, and they'll push people to your website. Facebook primarily, I would say 80% of my marketing campaigns have been on Facebook, because they'll give it to because your friends will see it, and then you'll see it too. And that's how I met you,
right,
on Facebook, but not necessarily my company website. But I made my own company website on Facebook as well.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay, so another question. I think we've talked a little bit about this, but like if you could go back 6 months and plan for COVID-19 ahead of time, would you have done anything different? You know, I know like stuff is 2020, but just curious as to your thoughts, or is there even anything you could have done differently, you know?
Well, it's funny you asked, because actually, like I said, my company, I started in September 2019. Man. Which was actually 6 months ago. And like I say, COVID-19 came right on time for me to, you know what I'm saying, use my entrepreneurial skills and use all my certificates, because I was working on my certificates the whole time. As soon as it hit, I talked to, the company I was working with. I was like, okay, I'm about to get some contracts. You down?
Right.
Yeah, he's down. And like I said, the rest is history. And we are definitely going to hit our goals for this year. We're well on a great pace.
What are those? That's actually my next question. What are some like benchmark goals that you're looking to hit over like, short term, 6-month, year goals, but even like longer term, like 1 to 5 and like beyond? Like, what does that look like for you? Where do you see yourself in that position? Like, what does that look like for you, both short term and long term? It sounds like you've thought about that. I'm curious to hear that from you.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. The goal this year was 3.5 because we didn't quite make it last year. I'm sure a lot of companies are doing better, or like I say, I'm just starting out, and that's if we get somewhere around the 3.5 range, I'll be satisfied for the first year.
Right. For the first year, where do you see yourself in the next like 5 years? Like how big is your operation right now? I know you got guys who contracting out. Like, are you looking to continue to build stuff in house, or you continue to contract out? What is that? You even thought, like, just curious to like where your head goes with that kind of thought process.
Well, like I say, currently we have about 25 guys, about the staff about 25, so that's a pretty decent sized staff. Actually, initially I was going to do water, but me and my partner decided, this is before the COVID.
Yeah.
Before COVID hit, he was like, well, with your company, we can get the local, state, and federal contracts, and we can do it like that. But in the meanwhile, I went to school to be an indoor environmentalist. So I got my certificate, so I'm a board certified indoor environmentalist. So I went to school to get that, and then I went to the school on how to write protocol. So I'm ready to write protocol, and then I'm about to go to school to write asbestos program design. So that was the initial goal, but COVID stepped in. It's kind of like now I'm preoccupied with this, and I'm just kind of like staying put right now, and have to manage these projects, and then eventually I'm going to separate myself so it won't be a conflict of interest, right. So I can start writing protocol. But right now we're focused on COVID, but it's good to have all that knowledge in my head to when I jump out there.
Yeah. Okay, this is our last question. I like this one. It's a fun one. Advice, thoughts, comments, rude remarks, whatever you want to throw out there for anybody who may be listening in the future, or whatever the case may be.
Okay, so I'm always at a mindset is your thought. Everything starts with a thought, and if you have a thought that comes into your mind, and it's up to you to water that thought. I mean, you don't control your thoughts. What you do is you look at your thoughts from a third party perspective, and is this a thought that I want to nourish, or just a thought that it won't help me? So you have to make that decision with the thoughts that enter your brain. Now, if it's a thought that's going to help you, you want to go ahead and water that. But if it's anything it's going to stop you or hinder you from where you want to go, you get rid of that thought. You be the controller. You be the generator, organizer, dispenser of your own reality. And that's the way I see it. And I stay eternally optimistic with everything I do. So if anybody ever asks me how my day is, the only answer you'll get is just another day in paradise. So that's the way I operate, and that's who I am.
Man, I appreciate you being on the call. I'm gonna wrap up the call here in just a second, but man, thank you for real.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure. My pleasure.
I'm gonna turn off the